Okay, I'm not seeing the record button, but let's see. Pause recording. Okay, so it is recording. Excellent. Okay, guys. So welcome to Monday night's session, and it's really awesome to have all of you guys on here. And I see there's some new names hopping on. So welcome, and let's hope that everybody else manages to hop on as time goes by. So maybe I should just give 1 or 2 minutes, because I know a lot of guys were on the other call with Susie, which means they need to log off and then log back on again. But tonight we're going to have a really amazing session with, there we go. I didn't want to start without Keith. How's it, Keith? And Claudia, welcome. Great. So I'm just going to put a reminder here. We have started. Great. Cool. So welcome everybody, and as I said, I've been working this last week with Andrew and Massa, and just getting my head around where I am in network marketing in the business, and I just thought it's very powerful to share the concepts that came through from the sessions that I've been having with them, and I've got another one tomorrow morning with Massa and Andrew. So one of the biggest things that we need to do is, and let me see if I can actually do this. Aha, there we go. All right, so what are you seeing, guys? You're just seeing the normal PowerPoint, or are you seeing my presenter view? PowerPoint. Cool. Great. Thanks, George. Okay, so one of the things that the biggest thing. Sorry?
In the presenter view now, it's not the PowerPoint. It's great.
Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to know, because my screen is doing the other way around. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, now you're seeing the PowerPoint.
Yes, now it's a PowerPoint job.
Thank you. My computer's backwards like me. So some unknown reason.
I'm seeing your notes where you've got the next slide as well.
So you're seeing, okay, so now let's see if we swap back again.
Yeah. Yes, okay. I'm just seeing the one page.
Okay, cool. Great. Okay, super. Okay, so the very first thing that that they've been speaking to me about, and this is where I'm really awesome to chat. How's it, Margriet? Chat with everybody. Is the first thing that they've been working through with me is my limiting beliefs, and it's very powerful to actually process what your limiting beliefs are. And most of us have got limiting beliefs somewhere along the line, especially when it comes to a whole lot of things in our lives, and we don't actually process why we're not moving forward in any life angle. And it doesn't have to specifically just be network marketing. It can be absolutely anywhere. And that is what are my limiting beliefs. So that's what we're going to be looking at is limiting beliefs. And in order to, one of the key things, and Andrew said it to all of us on the top 10 last week, is that you need to get better. You need to get better to be better. So in other words, you need to actually decide what it is that I need to do to become a better version of me in order to actually be a better version of you. And many of us know that we want to be this better version, okay? So, but we're not processing what is it that I actually need to do to become a better version of me. And so what I would love you to do is just write down now 2 or 3 key things that you believe that you need to start doing to become a better version of yourself. And while we're going through this process, I'm going to relook at my notes that I've been working with Andrew and Massa and them with as well, and just have a relook at that. But if I need to be better me, just what would be 2 things that if I had to process next week, what would those 2 things be that could help me become a better version of myself? So what are 2 things that you could jot down to help you to become a better version of yourself? And you can put it in whatever context you want to put it in. I'm not going to narrow it down just to network marketing. Okay, so I started checking the two things, and I know my listeners just can go on and on and on and on and on, because when we start looking at it, if you wanted to be, so if I wanted to be a better mum to my daughters overseas, what are two things, just two little things that I need to say? What are two things that I could do to become a better mum for her? If I want to become a better wife for Ant, what are just two things that I could work on that would help him feel that I'm a better wife? And one would probably be making him dinner, but that probably would be one good thing. I promise you he did get dinner tonight. If I wanted to be better downline to Andrew and to Susie, what are the two things that I could actually do? If I wanted to be a better upline to you guys, what are the two things that I need to do? So you can actually pinpoint this in any area of our lives. And once we've identified what that is, the very next thing is to look at what must I do to reprogram my mind in that area. Okay, so this is where the tacky hits the road. It's like, do I really want to actually reprogram my mind? Because when I've reprogrammed my mind, my actions are going to be different, my wording is going to be different, the things that I do. So what I now want you to specifically do is I want you to list all your limiting beliefs. Now I just want you to write them down, and I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 minutes to write down, that you have right now specifically in the network marketing profession to be successful. So list all your limiting beliefs you have right now that will prevent you from becoming successful in this particular profession. Okay, who would like to be brave enough to share some of their limiting beliefs? Because I can share one or two of mine that I've been putting down, and mine is self-worth. Okay, self-worth, personal belief in myself, personal belief in myself as a leader, also for me, a biggie right now for me is actually a woman in this male-dominated environment of cryptocurrencies. And seeing how successful the men are signing up and closing and getting out there, and it's starting to knock my personal belief in myself that I actually can do it. So those are limiting beliefs I have right now that's hindered me over the last couple of weeks. Who else would like to share some of theirs? Yes, Keith.
I need to wake up and believe more in myself.
Nice one.
I need to wake up and contact more people and not fear rejection.
Love it. Love it. Well done. Well done. Thanks so much, Keith. Jeff. Let me unmute you. Okay. Right, you unmuted, Jeff. Go for it.
All right, hello everybody. I'm sitting in the dark outside because it's the only place I can smoke, and Sally's watching TV. That's why I've got a blue one. All right, limiting beliefs. Okay, I'm going to put it into context as well. I've taken a hell of an emotional knock with my dad dying in the last couple of months and my mom lying in ICU at the moment, but it's given me plenty of time to reflect on other things and just how easily one can get knocked off one's high spinning disc in the network marketing profession as well. And so I start looking in, becoming introspective. And this also follows the chat we had a couple of weeks ago, Michelle. I don't know the MLG system well enough, and I've gone through it probably a dozen times since we first got it, and I still don't believe I've wrapped it up. But I think that's part of being a perfectionist. I need to have mastered it to the extent of being able to teach it before I'm confident doing it. I haven't got enough trust kudos. This is now a perception I have with people I talk to. The excuse I have is that I don't live in an area that I grew up in, and so all relationships that I create here are entirely new. I'm not always sure what to say to different individuals, and even worse, when to transition into what we do and how to do that. I'm coming across people who believe cryptos are a scam and that network marketing is a scam. I can't let that knock me because I have a story and my story is my truth and it tells it. Back to what Susie was saying. Then in terms of balancing with, I work a full-time job. I start at 7 in the morning. I'm lucky if I get back at 6 at night. Making time to connect with my team, which I'm really poor at, and at the same time, put in the work that needs to be put in to grow my business. And then balancing home as well. How do I get to balance that? And I go through guilt feelings of not spending enough time with Sally, not contributing in the house because I'm trying to create us a future in the present. I think that's enough, Michelle.
Brilliant, Jeff. I think you've covered a lot of what the rest of us are feeling. Thank you. Andrew Harasidis.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, I just thought, I've had a few no's, and that knocked my confidence a bit. I must be honest, that it really knocked me off the bicycle. And I know no's are good, but it's not, it doesn't feel good at all, I must tell you. It really knocked me. And I just got, I don't know if it's a phobia, I don't know what it is, but I just battled to do a three-way call. That's what's holding me back, is I'm not doing three-way calls.
Wow.
And I've got to get into the habit of doing three-way calls.
Brilliant.
That's what I really want to work on.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. And then I just don't know who user is that's coming up here, but anyway, they're also saying, I don't feel I express myself correctly and may lose their interest, which is very much what Jeff was saying, what types of people to say what to. So I think, can you see from what we've actually just, the few that have had the opportunity to share right now, just want to share screen again. You can see we're all actually in the same boat. We're not uniquely on our own. The fear of rejection, all those kind of things. So I think it was Jeff already started writing down the second part, which is for us to actually say, okay, I would be more successful in my business if. So I want you to finish that sentence for yourself. I would be more successful in my business if. And what would that perfect scenario look like to you and I? I would be more successful in business if I believed that it wasn't a male-dominated environment, and I had the confidence as a woman to actually believe in myself and share the concept and not put it down to that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. Okay, awesome. So now what I want you to do is do one of the things that's further that George does on every single day, and he writes down 3 key goals that he wants to do. And I think come back to this as well and add it to that you write down. I would be more successful in my business if, and then, because what we've got to start doing is we've got to start reprogramming our thoughts based on the things that we have been thinking about. And so one of the things with my whole male dominated environment thing, and funny enough, I was having this very conversation actually in Eric Worre's room as well, and how I've got to really get over that mindset that it's not just a male-dominated environment, but yet I'm feeling it is, probably because the men that I'm around are extremely, extremely, extremely strong men. I mean, you talk about Andrew, Jacques, Doc, and all these guys, they're like really out there go-getters. And the women that are coming through, we're not stepping up to the plate as the men are. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not seeing women taking platforms. So is it because of my mindset that I'm not seeing women stepping up to the plate, or what actually is it? So it's quite interesting. And one of my new ladies is, I just see not on, but I'm not going to worry about that now. I'll get her, make sure she gets it in. So what we need to look at, and what has helped me over the last week, is what they call the performance gap. Okay. And the performance gap is very, very, very simple. It's basically, the top line is, what could I have, should I have, and do I have? And then the bottom one is, what do I actually do? So if I really want to have close to people at the beginning of or the end of this month, okay, so do I have a funnel that's going to funnel me enough to close 2 people this month? If that's my goal. If my goal is I want to close 5 people this month, do I have the funnel that's going to close those 5 people to match what my expectations are? Because if we're not going to align this gap of what I should have, what my goal is, and what I'm actually doing, we're continuously going to have the scenario where we're living below the line. And we're living below our goals, we're living below the line, and we're living below our own expectations. So what does that look like to us? It looks like reasons why I could be living below the line are, one, it's all my limiting beliefs that we've just made down a list. Some of you have actually mentioned the fear. So the fear of rejection, the fear of not knowing what to say, the fear of not being able to do a 3-way call. And some of these fears are secondary and some of them are primary. So the primary fear would be, for example, stuff that I've brought upon myself because it's reality that's happened to me. Secondary could be because I've observed it happening to someone else. So, for example, my kids haven't personally been hijacked, but their secondary fear is the fact that Anthony and I have been hijacked. So they're absolutely paranoid about driving in South Africa and those kind of things because of a secondary fear, which inhibits them from even visiting South Africa for the ones that are overseas. So we need to really ascertain and go back and journal for ourselves. Why am I living below the line? Because I'm never going to get up to that line unless I know why I'm living below that line and what's holding me back. What are the things that are preventing me? So I know all of this, and the very first thing that when I did to come and do my phone calls today and all the rest of it, I procrastinated. Okay, I mean, I'm like, no, this guy's going to reject me. This guy's not going to take the call. And it took me and eventually it was like 2:00 this afternoon. I thought, no, Michelle, get on that flipping telephone, phone those people. They've already seen the link. These are follow-up phone calls. They're not going to reject you. They are going to maybe reject the concept, but just get an appointment with them. What is your job? What is your next step? And so I was playing games with myself again, even though last week I was online with Masa and with Andrew going through this very thing. So it happens to all of us, but if we know how to nip it in the bud and go back to, so I went back to my notes, and this is why I wanted to share this with everybody tonight, is because it's a reality. Okay, I mean, network marketing profession is my profession right now. I'm full-time in this, and I can't go to that next level if I'm not going to overcome this gap. So I could be doing activity, but maybe I'm doing activity that's only getting me to $5,000 a month. What do I need to do? And this is what I'm fighting through right now, and doing coaching with Masa and Andrew, is how do I get to $10,000 a month? And the only way I'm going to get to $10,000 a month is here, in my mind first. Then my activity is going to pick up. But if I don't believe, it doesn't matter how much activity I'm doing, I'm not going to have a breakthrough. I'm not going to have a breakthrough because my mind is still telling me stories about nonsense that it's a male environment, it's it's this, that, and the next thing, and we're not actually working on that. So we need to really look at things like that. And then the next key thing when you're processing this is, how's that making me feel? So if you're in that gap, that performance gap, how is it making you feel by not living above the line? How is it making you feel not being able to live above the line? The frustration, the absolute, does this work? Is this going to work? All those kind of things, and how important it is for us to look at, how is this making me feel? It's making me feel inferior. It's making me feel like I don't belong. It's making me feel that I'm not worthy. It's making me feel like a loser because I'm not achieving the goals that I want to achieve, but yet I mentally haven't equipped myself for the gap. And so this is something that's really been something that I've had to work on quite seriously over the last couple of days. So again, today I fell into the trap again, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to fix itself overnight. We're going to have to just go through this on a slower pace. So let's look at one of the biggest beliefs. And I said somebody else, I think it was Jeff, that said people are saying MLM is a scam, those kind of things. So here's two statements that I've actually been playing around in my head right now. And these are things that Masa and Andrew have asked me to reflect on. And the first one is Wall Street. If I was in Wall Street, my income is all about the number of people I take advantage of. If I was in Wall Street, I would be trying to take people's money and get people's money so I can take advantage of them, so I can go and trade for them, and I can go and and it is irrelevant to me whether I win or whether I lose their money or not. And it's a risk they take, and they actually sign a document that says that. And I have zero connection to that, and I don't care. If you want to go and watch the movie, Wolf from Wall Street, or Wall Street Wolf, was whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, go and watch that movie. Go and watch how ruthless those guys are, and just taking people's money. Okay, and yet people respect that as an industry and a profession. Whereas if you look at MLM, my income is based on the number of people I help to become successful. It's all about the numbers. And it's all about our mindset perception. I'm not Wall Street. I'm not taking advantage of them. I'm not trying to do something to help them lose their money. I'm actually here helping them, doing the same numbers to get the same results. But my mindset is, I'm here to help you. And yet the people who are bitching and running to us and saying that we're an MLM scam, they're the ones busy losing their money to the guys on Wall Street. It's the craziest thing. They're putting their pensions there, they're putting all this stuff there, and so we need to say, I'm not here like the big companies that are trading your money and putting it into properties and things like that. And I'm here to help you. so we've got to believe that my income in network marketing is based on the number of people I help to become successful. So a beautiful statement that Masa made, and I love it, is service to many equals greatness. Service to many equals greatness. It's such a powerful statement. So I'm serving, the more people I can serve, the more legacy I'm going to have that I leave behind. So we're looking for legacies. We're looking for what is my why, what do I want to do? And yet we're missing out on this very thing, the ability to create greatness in our own lives and with ourselves. So there's two ways that we should be looking at how I'm approaching my business to help my mindset and to reprogram my limiting beliefs. And the first one is all about self-interest. So self-interest means that basically you will do whatever it takes. Good, bad, ugly, and that's very much how the Wall Street system works. Good, bad, ugly, it doesn't really matter. And the whole system and everything that I do every morning is all about me. It's all about me, what I can do, and what I can take from other people. So you go out there and you fall into the faker category. Okay, you fall into the faking it. You don't really care. You're just all about head knowledge and trying to be this powerful person about blockchain and all the rest of it. And you don't really care about taking the person's money. And the other one is the taker. Okay, you're just taking from them and not giving back. And then, of course, the last one is fighter. So that's what self-interest is all about. So if at any given time you're approaching a person, you're talking to a person, you're thinking, listen, I'm going to sign this person up, whatever it takes. This is, you're not asking questions about them. You're telling them your story only and not finding out what their story is. And okay, I hate that saying, fake it till you make it. I absolutely hate that saying. And I'll tell you why just now. And taking from people and fighting and arguing with people and trying to prove your point, that's all self-interest. The other hand, which is where we should be coming from and transitioning ourselves to, is self-enlightenment. And self-enlightenment is all about being that giver. And it's about being that giver with boundaries. And it's about being an influencer. And how do I influence people? How do I go about being that person that influences people to make decisions, to make right decisions that are good for them? And an influencer is, by the way, not a manipulator. Okay, it's definitely not someone who manipulates. We influence people and take them through a journey. I just want to see there's some more chats here quickly. Watch Billions. Yes, watch Billions as well. I love that series. Absolutely love Billions. Because it shows you about just taking, and bossing people around to get what you want. And that's all that self-interest, isn't it? Awesome, I love it. Okay. So how do we become, you and I become an influencer? So becoming an influencer is all about, first and foremost, how do I become independent? And when I need basically an independent individual, I can work on my own, I can make decisions, I can go ahead and really just make things happen in my life. I'm not reliant on someone to tell me step by step where I'm going. So I need clarification on what my results are going to look like, or what my goals are, or how I'm going to get there. So, but I don't need someone to tell me, today you must wake up and do this, and you must get to do that, and that kind of thing. And an independent person who's an influencer always is accountable to someone, a system, something, because influencers work within boundaries, whereas mavericks don't work in boundaries. Mavericks do their own thing. They don't want to conform to a system. So in network marketing, what happens is we get highly influential people in their industries joining us, and yet they don't want to submit to the simplicity of our system. And then that is not going to enable them to work independently. And I see it time and time and time again. And there's people that I'm working with now that should be right now on this call, and they're not even on this call. And I'm like, you know what, dude, you can never become an influencer because you're not prepared to be held accountable to sitting onto this group. So because you're going to duplicate your own attitude downline of you, and then you're not going to have a team that works with. So that's the first thing, is an influencer is independent. They need direction and clarification, but they go and do their stuff as well, and then they just hold themselves accountable back again. So every single day I have to give Andrew what I've done, what I've been doing, all the rest of it. In fact, the top 10, we all have to do that. We all have to let Andrew know what it is that we're doing and how we're going with it. And if we don't, he sends us a message, how's it going? You know, so I got my how's it going called SMS from Andrew today. If you want, I can even show you how's it going. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to lie to you, Andrew, or tell you the truth. Not going well so far, procrastinating. Okay, why? Because the head is playing stupid things. Okay, go read your notes and get yourself out of it so that you can make your calls. Okay, so that's the reality of it. An influencer is also a problem solver. Okay, so an influencer is going to spend 90% of their time and their minds on a solution. Okay, 90% of their time on the solution. Okay, so in other words, your problem should move you forward in a positive way and not hinder you. So we all have problems in our lives, all that kind of thing. So, or issues that come up in our lives, or things that are a stumbling block to us. And that whatever it might be shouldn't be seen as a problem. So for example, and Jeff, this might be personal for you as well, but when my mum was on her deathbed and I was sitting next to her, that was a big problem for me to take my business forward. And how could I make that problem move forward? And that's all Andrew and Mussy were saying to me at that time was, Mish, you're either going to stagnate now or you're going to move forward. You're going to stagnate or move forward. That's your choice, and either way, it's the right choice for you. But you need to make sure that the story to my problem fades away. It doesn't make me an excuse for not doing the things that I'm doing. So I had this situation, and I did this, and this, and I'm better for it. Okay, so Jeff's now trying to balance his life between spending time with Sally, spending time with his mom, dealing with his own personal grief as well, needing his own personal space, plus trying to get out there and get people. I mean, that's one hell of a thing to be dealing with, Jeff. I know exactly how you're feeling in that space right now, and it's a shit space to be in. That's all I'm going to say. It's a shit space to be in. But I have this problem, or I have this situation, and this is my mindset around it. If I had to go and change it to this, and this, I'm going to be better for it. Okay, so you've got to process it, and if you don't physically process it, it becomes a problem versus you becoming the problem solver and telling the problem what to do. So those are two very powerful things that influencers do. Then, of course, influencers are hungry, okay? They're hungry because their why, they're so hungry that they do the stuff because their why is big, okay? Or their why could be a small why relative to someone else's why, okay? But their passion to solve that why, their passion to fulfill that why is so great that they're hungry for the next goal. So, okay, fine. So I've got to do this because I want to get to $1,000 a month. The reason why I need $1,000 a month, it's a residual income of 10,000, 14,000 Rand a month. Okay, that 14,000 Rand a month is going to plug, and then you go write it down. It's going to plug this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole. So when I get up in the morning, it's not just me fighting for $1,000. It's me fighting to plug that hole, plug this hole. Gosh, what am I going to celebrate when I plug this hole? What am I going to celebrate when I plug this hole? So that's where the hunger comes in. And I mean, I don't want. Doc wants to work the rest of his life in corporate, and I want to get to a situation where $20,000 a month. If he had to say today, you know what, I'm no longer working in corporate, I don't have to say, oh my gosh, where's that? Okay, he doesn't earn $20,000 a month from Lifestyle Galaxy. Please trust me, he doesn't. If he did, I wouldn't be fighting this business so much. Okay, so but his portion that comes into the house, you know, we wouldn't be worried about it. Does that make sense? It plugs a hole. So even if 5-6 years from now he still says it's okay, I've saved enough money for us to go on a holiday or whatever, but I want to be able to be in a space where if Ant had to say, I don't want to, this is it now, I'm going to hand over to someone else, I'm moving out of corporate completely and it's time for me to retire. It's 2 years till he's 60. Now, what happens if he says that at 65 and I'm cruising here and there's no hole to plug? Now I now have to go and try and work to plug that hole. And I don't want to do that. And then he has to work to plug the hole. So do you see how clear I am about I've got to get. So why do you think I'm on with Masa and Andrew? I'm like, I'm clapping the 5,000, but I cannot get myself from 5 to 10. What is happening here that's stopping me from doing it? And I'm writing all these things down, and it's making it very clear for me. And you can see I'm clearly very passionate about this because I need a breakthrough. I need to burst that barrier. And it's like, I suppose it was like Henry Ford's car moving from 40 kilometers an hour to 70 kilometers an hour, and now you freaking drive Ferraris and that at 200 k's. Do you know what I'm saying? It's got to evolve, and the barriers have to be broken through. But that's the hunger for the goal. Okay. Then of course, influencers create action. They know the culture of the company they're working in. They know the culture of success. They know what's expected of them, and they meet challenges. Bottom line, boom, boom, boom. So look at yourself over the next week and say, where am I in these 4 areas, which is your, the first one being independent, second one being problem solver, third one, how hungry am I? Really, how hungry am I? Like, according to my why, how freaking hungry am I? Okay. And then what do I need to do to create the action as an independent person? So, and if you can create influences downline of you, you're going to have a really big business. You're going to have a really big business if you can help people to become influencers. And basically, their position that they've got in the tree is actually a business that creates residual income. It's very powerful, very powerful. So any new person, keep it simple. All right. So tell them what to do. Okay, so right now, I'm telling you what you need to do to become an influencer. Now I need to go and show you how to become an influencer, all right, which means I need to become independent. I need to be a problem solver. I need to be hungry, and I need to be creating action, okay? And based on that, and that's why in the top 10, I'm saying, guys, we need to make sure that we're feeding information, whatever group that you're in, and whoever you are accountable to need to be doing that. So show them, and then me, I got to keep doing the work, okay? Because you're going to be following in my footsteps. So I'm going to tell you what to do, then I'm going to show you how to do it, and then I got to keep going to do the work. Why do you think Andrew's back in the trenches? Because what he found is that his top 10 leaders were starting to go into management mode the same way he was going into management mode. Okay. Now, if Andrew has his top 10 leaders in management mode, there's not going to be any new activity happening in his business. So, and then the new person needs to earn their way into your top 10 group, your inner circle, being, having access to you. Because if they're not doing the work, they shouldn't be in your inner circle. And sometimes we put people into our inner circle because we like them as people, but we're not serving them as leaders if we allow them into the inner circle and they're not doing the work. Okay, so you'll see that on Monday, 3 people, I spoke to them and we've had them leave the group because of where they're at right now. And I said, fine, no problem. You've got to earn your way back into the top 10, earn your way back into the inner circle again. Okay. So how do you increase your income in MLM? Okay, the very first way to increase your income to become an MLM is focus on becoming an influencer. Focus on those 4 things. Focus on becoming independent. Focus on being solving all your problem solving, and focus on being hungry, passionate, obsessive. Okay, no more I hope I'm going to do this, or I will do this, I must do this. Okay, not I hope, not I will, I must. I must increase my bust. Sorry, that was just some random gym thing for us ladies. Okay, great. And then, of course, what action do you need to create to become an influencer for yourself? Okay, because remember, it's your family that's watching you. It's your family. You know, Susie said it so beautifully early on. So for those of you, I will try and find her recording, and I'm gonna post it on our group as well. She did a great job in sharing how she's had to overcome and continue to focus on becoming an influencer to create that action, which is amazing. Then teach others how and what to do to become influencers. That's how you're going to make money in MLM. Yes, within that, there's a whole lot of other things that we know what we need to do, and I'll recap with them just now. But basically, every morning you got to wake up and say, am I an influencer? And what are my 4 things that I need to grow as an influencer? And am I growing in those areas? If I'm not growing in those areas, what's my mindset behind it? What's my limiting belief in the fact that I'm independent? What's my limiting belief? Because you could be independent to such an extent that you don't want to be accountable. That's a limiting belief, and that's not going to serve you in this as a leader in this business. Okay, it didn't serve me for a long time. I didn't want to be accountable to Andrew. I didn't want to give my stats. It's got nothing to do with you, okay? But it didn't serve me. All right, so it's not a good thing. Okay, so all right, my biggest asset that I bring to the business is my skill set. Your biggest asset, my biggest asset, is our skill set. So how we make money is becoming better people. Okay, how we continue to earn income is by developing our assets. And the first one we all know is about connecting. So go back to your GoPro book. Here's your seven skills in your GoPro. Connecting. Some of you might, I think in the GoPro book it's called prospecting, but I like connecting. Then of course inviting. Have you mastered that skill in inviting? Presenting, follow up, closing, get start, and then this one here, promoting of events. Guys, we know this. So, you know, if you want to be a network marketing professional, what we're trying to do is we're trying to master all of these in one go. So my suggestion is go back to your limiting beliefs about what you wrote down earlier on. Fit it into one of these categories. Okay? Fit it into one of these categories, and then go and master the skill in that category until you have enough confidence, and your confidence is going to lead to actions, which is going to give you results. So if it is about inviting, fear of rejection, then it's the inviting. What is your limiting belief? Go and look at it every single day and say, if someone says no, they're not saying no to me. They're saying no to what I'm about to offer. They're saying no because of what they've read. They're saying no because they don't understand. Again, on Sunday, Susie, when she was chatting in her thing, on Sunday, I mean, she's been with Lifestyle Galaxy now for 7 years. Sunday, at lunch with her own family, with her mom and her stepdad. Her stepdad brings out an article to say, bam, the cryptocurrencies is not a good place to be. You should be getting out of it and go and get a job. I mean, that's a family member. Now, if she didn't have the confidence and the belief in the system, it wasn't her dad telling her or her stepdad telling her. He was just fighting something, his limiting belief. So when someone says no to you, they have a limiting belief. And if you can find out what their limiting belief is, you can help them to gain more knowledge within that belief system. Okay. So those are the things, guys, that we need to do. And then, of course, systems. Does everybody, this includes yourself, know what the system is? Are you doing the system, and does the system work? That's what people want to know. So in business, when it comes to systems, there's 4 things that are specifically network marketing. The first one is customer acquisition. Our system has the most amazing CRM program, which is your customer relationship management tool. So the moment you send a link, their information gets stored. And then you have your whole CRM that is there. And I mean, like now, I mean, the video has changed. I've got over 400 people, 400 something people I've sent the link to. I now just go to number 1 and just say, hey, you know what? Resend the link from them and say, hey, why don't you have a look at this new information we've got? Okay, that's 400 people. I don't have all those 400 people in my business, but they've watched a link and I've communicated to them. But if I didn't have the CRM acquisition, then I wouldn't be able to do it. So that's really, really amazing. Opportunity. We all have the opportunity. The link is our opportunity. Okay, then we have opportunity. Then we have even better opportunities that follow on that. And that is, we have a system that literally someone can plug into and they can get started. They really honestly can get started by themselves once you've started them off on the program. And then, of course, in MLM specifically, you've got to have a system to promote monthly events. We have to have a system, and we do. We have a system that promotes monthly events. There are groups. Andrew Eaton is our system. He does it so well. You're just going to play everybody the video. He does it so passionately because he understands getting people make decisions emotionally. People don't make decisions logically. 80% of the people make decisions emotionally. 20%, which is probably your high melancholies, will make their decisions based on a logic and a flow. So when a person gets into an event and they connect with someone else, for example, high-powered, if I've got some really great men coming through my business at the moment, and they haven't got started yet. I've just got to get them in front of Andrew and Jacques on the weekend, face to face with them. So, and even Brendan Earp Jones, because that's the industry that they're in. They're in that corporate environment. So can you see now how important 3-way calls are, and how you can connect a person to a 3-way call? So go back to the back office of My Lifestyle Galaxy, which is one thing that's left off here, but I suppose it's the Get Started system, training, coaching, and mentoring, and listen to the 3-way call and how to do a 3-way call. It's almost word for word on how to do a 3-way call there. So go back and listen to that. It's really, really good. Or get on a line and practice a 3-way call with someone. So maybe we can role play sometime, Andrew. Role play some 3-way calls. I'm happy to do that. So yeah, so MLG is our system, and we're lucky to have it. We're really, really lucky to have the MLG. It's there for us. It's getting improved daily. Please don't forget to watch the validation video, because yeah, there are dream stealers out there, and the dream stealers are going to prevent you from and sometimes your own, what's going on in your own head is your own dream stealer. Sometimes you're your own dream stealer. I'm my own dream stealer sometimes. Okay, Andrew Horicidis was on a top 10 call with Andrew Eaton 2 weeks back, and I was driving and I was like, this is it. This is crap. MLM is a lot of bullshit. It doesn't work. My headspace is wrong. And I'm like, guys, I'm just venting right now because nothing is going right. I don't know where I am. My team's not performing. My team's not doing this. I'm not doing this. No one's signing people up. And I mean, you can ask Andrew. I was like, that was the headspace that I was in. Very next day, Andrew Eaton's on the phone to me. We're going to get a session with you and Mustard like tomorrow. Like, we've got to get this going. You've got to get yourself, get out of this headspace. What the F are you doing? What is happening in those ears of yours? Okay. I'm like, Andrew, it's just going all wrong right now. He said, go write down what's your limiting beliefs. And he said, I want you to go and write it down. Are you independent? What's your limiting beliefs in with regards to problem solving? Right now you're solving shit problems. He says to me, right now you're doing nothing. You're making problems. Go write down your limiting beliefs. Go and write down what my business will be successful if I become a better problem solver instead of focusing on my problems. Michelle, are you hungry? You're losing it. You're no longer hungry for this. Go look at your why. Go tweak your why. Go make your why something that's tangible now. Out there, $20,000 is not going to do it for you. That's why you're falling apart. Michelle, you're doing the work, but you're working in the wrong places. And that was my pep talk the very next day from Andrew. That's why this week, Andrew, you heard me saying, thank you for kicking my ass, because things changed. He did. He came and he really did. He kicked my butt. He really, really, really did. Okay, because he wants me to be successful. So, last slide, I'm just going to land on this now, is your why. Every single one of us, you and me, we have a why. And your why is the purpose, cause, or belief that inspires you. If your why is not inspiring you, go look for another why. Go and lock yourself in a cupboard. Go and lock yourself in the men in your cavemen. Go and do whatever you've got to do to make that why inspire you again. Go and do, I don't know what it is for you to go and tap into that why. And then knowing your why gives you a filter to make choices at work and at home that will help you find greater fulfillment in all that you do. I don't know if any of you have heard of Simon Sinek. This is from Simon Sinek's book. I love listening to Simon Sinek. Go Google him on YouTube. Go and he is just so inspirational, so directive. And these are his words. This comes from his book. Everyone has a why. You do and I do. But does your why inspire you? Because if it doesn't inspire you, you know what? This headspace is going to stay the same. And you and I are not going to be able to get ourselves out of that gap that we were looking at earlier on. We're just not going to get out of that gap. And we're going to find that we're going to always be living below the line. And do we want to live below the line, or do we want to live above the line? And if we want to live above the line, that's a place of beyond mediocre. The middle of the line is mediocrity. We don't want to have a mediocre life. I don't want to have a mediocre life. I want to have an exceptional one. I want to leave legacies for my family. I want to leave legacies for my children. I want to actually just leave a legacy for my husband as well, and I want to leave a legacy for me. But I need to know what's stopping me from getting above the line. And right now it's me. It's 100% me. I'm just not getting myself over that line. And that's why I really wanted to share this with everybody. I just wanted to share with you, this is okay, you're getting it for free. I had to pay myself for it, okay? But it's all good. It's all good. If it can help you guys just over this next week, I just want you to just go back and think what's stopping you from breaking that barrier. And the barrier could be $500 a month to start off with. If you haven't done that on a monthly basis, what is that barrier? If it's $1,000 and you're always just below 1,000, below 1,000, go and say, what is it that I can break the mindset? What's stopping me? And what are my action plans that I'm going to do to get me through there? So can you show the last slide again? Colin, I'm sure I can. Let me just go to share screen, and I wonder if I go end slide. Well, that didn't help. Sorry, Colin. Here we go. Okay, Colin, are you seeing the slide now? You can just type in yes if you are. Okay, what slide are you seeing, Andrew?
We're seeing your why.
Okay, perfect. That's the last slide.
That's the last slide.
That's the last slide. Awesome.
What was the guy's name, Simon?
Sinek. S-I-N-E-K. Sinek. Simon Sinek. Really, I should have said by Simon Sinek. By Simon Sinek. I love this guy. He's really, he's so inspiring, especially his leadership stuff. Absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, cool. All right, I'm sure I can stop share now. Okay. It's important to be kind to yourself. Even Olympic athletes lose it sometimes. You have muscle memory to get back to victory. Absolutely. And this is the start, Helen, of the muscle memory. We need to get if we're not focusing on it, and many of us, listen, I mean, I've been to counselors and coaches and things like that, but I've never focused on it and the help. So I might have focused it, let's say, on relationship with one of my kids or relationship with Ant. I've never taken that headspace on how to overcome actually into breaking my own barrier here in this business. And that's what I've been working on over this last week. So awesome. Super, guys. Thank you very much. I'm glad I recorded this. I will be posting it on the group. And please share it with your teams. Share it with anybody who wants to be successful in this business, because if we can just break through that mindset, it's really going to help a lot. Okay. Champions in the making. I love it. Okay. We do know what it takes. We just got to go and do the work. So awesome, guys. Giving the next group, if we can get on at 5 past, just so we can all go and get some coffee, drink there, do a wee break and all the rest of it. But thank you, and I will send this through soon. It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. That was awesome, the webinar. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thanks so much. Awesome. Chat to you guys now.